Let's be honest. People rarely admit this, but not having friends isn't always just bad luck. Often, it's the result of certain psychological patterns, ways of thinking, behaving, and seeing the world that make forming real connections almost impossible. It's not about being introverted or shy. The story goes deeper than that. Let's take a look at what psychology says about people who end up alone, even when they don't want to. 1. They overanalyze every social interaction. People who don't have many friends tend to overthink, especially when it comes to others. They replay conversations in their heads, dissect every word, and constantly worry about how they came across. This comes from excessive self-awareness, a mental pattern where the brain is always checking what others might be thinking about you. It might seem like a sign of intelligence, but for social connections, it's like poison. When you're stuck in analysis mode, you can't relax. And people can feel that tension. They often feel like you're distant, even when you're genuinely trying to connect. It's not that you mean to be cold. You're just stuck in observation and analysis mode. The truth is, your brain is more focused on analyzing people than actually bonding with them. You have a very low tolerance for anything fake. You can instantly spot forced smiles, attention-seeking, or drama. And once you see through someone's act, you can't unsee it. Psychologists call this high social perception, and it's common among people with advanced emotional intelligence. That's the dark side of it. When you see the truth behind people's behavior, you stop playing along. You don't fake interest, you don't flatter, you don't pretend to be impressed. But in a world built on small talk and shallow validation, that authenticity gets you labeled the wrong way. You're not rude, you're real. But being real comes at a cost. Your silence is mistaken for arrogance. Your independence for pride. And don't mistake their lack of interest for arrogance. People don't distance themselves from you because you're cold, but because you make their warmth look like an act. Those who don't easily fit into social circles are often too self-sufficient for the usual dynamics of friendship. Most friendships are built on small dependencies, shared feelings, giving each other comfort, or staying in constant touch. But people who don't have many friends rarely need those things. They manage their emotions internally and solve their problems on their own. In psychology, this is called emotional self-reliance. On paper, it's a strength, but in practice, it often leads to loneliness. Human connection thrives on vulnerability. When you never ask for help, never open up, never show emotional need, people subconsciously start to feel useless around you. Over time, they stop trying. You're not directly pushing anyone away. You're just not giving them space to feel important. You're not an unlovable person. You're just too much in your own head. Too hard for most people to read. People who struggle to keep friends often share one risky trait: high individualism. They don't follow trends or chase what's popular. They don't imitate group behavior, and they refuse to blend in just to belong. It's not rebellion, it's simply how their minds are wired. Psychologists call this low social conformity. It's what makes you unique, but it's also what makes you feel like an outsider. You think independently, you speak your mind, and you question the social rules everyone else accepts without thinking. That earns you a quiet kind of respect, but not closeness, because people connect over similarities, not differences. When everyone's laughing, you're analyzing the joke. When everyone agrees, you're asking why. When everyone follows along, you quietly step aside. That distance keeps you honest with yourself, but it also keeps you alone. People like you often struggle with emotional reciprocity, a truth few are willing to admit. Some people are terrible at friendship simply because they don't know how to mutually express feelings. They understand logic, not warmth. They know how to offer support, but not how to share their emotions. In psychology, this relates to alexithymia, difficulty recognizing or expressing emotions. You care deeply, but you don't show it in ways others can easily see. So even though people may admire your mind, but emotionally, I start disconnecting from you. You think being reliable is enough, but people need to be seen, not just helped. It's not that you don't have emotions. The problem is that you process them privately. And by the time you're ready to express them, the moment has already passed. Most people who end up without friends didn't lose them overnight. They lost them slowly, through small patterns, not replying soon enough, not showing enough emotion, staying silent when everyone else was pretending to feel something. They became too self-aware, too detached, too precise for a social world that runs on emotional noise. And that's the part where people stop really seeing you. Not having friends doesn't mean there's something wrong with you. It just means your mind values truth more than belonging. You can't fake connection. You can't water down your personality just to fit in. And that's why you often stand alone. Not because no one understands you, but because very few people can resonate with you. You don't need to change who you are, but you do need to understand yourself. Because once you realize how your traits shape your relationships, you stop asking, "Why don't I have friends?" and start seeing that not everyone has the capacity to keep up with you. If you want to understand how your mind truly works, not the polished, motivational version, subscribe, because here we don't talk about self-improvement fluff. We talk about the kind of psychology that exposes the truth.